Yeah, every week's new set of challenges. They're very talented group. Big physical line, two backs that are rushing for a huge average. So they've been very impressive. They've run the ball. They got a lot of talent. On the perimeter as well. They've got some challenges. And we're just preparing ourselves to go compete.
Jack, Ron's talked this week and for a while now about the idea of patience for this year, including playing young guys and kind of letting them work through some of their growing pains throughout the season. What's the challenge for you as a coordinator with that in mind when you're maybe trying to do certain things for that game, but you've also got to keep in mind the bigger picture of having some of these young guys kind of work through their issues?
Yeah, well, to me, I'm trying to squeeze everything I can out of each and every rep. I'm really not. Coach has the eye for the future. I've got an eye on like right now. So we're just trying to, perform as well as we can each week. Each week, a new set of challenges, new schemes, new people that you've got to learn and understand their tendencies and their strengths and their weaknesses, and then put a plan together and go attack them. So.
What do you want to see this week against Cleveland that maybe you did not see against Arizona, or maybe you saw in week 1 against Philly that wasn't the case in Arizona? So what are, I guess, some of the things that you didn't see against Arizona that you want to see from your defense against Cleveland?
Yeah, we want to continue to grow. We're a unit that's look, I think we've got the ability to play at a high level, and we expect to get that done. So. Just want to see growth, want to see consistency, and we're getting good effort, and we need to clean up some things, and that's what we're doing. We're just teaching and developing and working with our guys, and we have to do it at a higher level. And so I've got to coach it a little bit better. We've got to play it a little bit better, and that's always the way that you feel and talk about coming off a loss. I feel exactly the same way coming off a win. There were a lot of things that I felt that we had to improve in week 1, and in week 2, no different. And so looking forward to the next chapter.
Curious, I don't know what you want to tell us or can tell us on the first touchdown there in the red zone, like Landon and Moreau had a little miscommunication. And were there other miscommunication issues maybe on the Isabella long bomb? It looked like he kind of just ran between the safety, Apke, and Moreland. Was there anything else that jumped out to you in that regard?
Not really, no. And I don't think it was a lack of communication. I just think we just didn't execute the way we need to, So obviously, we're always going to look to be at our best and performing at the highest level, and taking care of business and playing fast and making those plays. So there are a couple that weren't made that have been addressed, and we'll clean them up and continue to grow. And that's again as coaches, we're wanting to make sure we continue to teach and develop and create an understanding, and so our guys can play faster and faster. But the reality is, look, the other team's going to make some plays from time to time, and we'll tip our hat to them and then move on to the next play. So we're not going to dwell on negative things. We're going to correct, teach, and move on.
Earlier this week, Ron said that you guys had a conversation and were a little disappointed about how your defense played a little more tentative than they did in week 1. How do you get them back into that aggressive mindset moving forward?
Not face Kyler Murray. I think that's the biggest thing. I just think we were a little tentative. We understood the need to not let him get out and run around. He still did get out and run around a little bit, and so I just thought that we left some things out there in terms of the approach we took, and the concern we had, and maybe didn't cut it loose enough. And so there's a responsibility, and when you're dealing with special talents like that, I talked to the guys. We had a Barry Sanders rule: you can't relax until you're on the bus. I mean, it's part of the deal. And Kyler had some plays that were, amazing plays on his part, and we just, and looking at it, thought that we weren't quite as aggressive the way we need to be and want to be, and part of that was just maybe understanding what we had to get done and maybe over committing to it, kind of playing cautiously to make sure we had him contained. So I think there were some opportunities to go a little more aggressively in terms of how we tackled him and how we rushed him.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jack, Ron and the defensive linemen have mentioned, it's been a little bit of a difficult transition to go from that lateral style to the attacking style. I wonder, where do you think that they're at this point and kind of where they're playing in terms of their capability?
We're doing some good things. We're doing some things we need to do better. Anytime there's a change, there's going to be some learning that takes place. So I feel good about the way I think guys are understanding what we're looking for, and we're getting closer and closer. But it's an ongoing process. It's not like you arrive and it's perfect. It's like, okay, we've got that figured out. So there's always challenges, and so I feel like we are getting a very firm grasp on exactly what we're looking for, and I think guys understand it. We pride ourselves on teaching the details as a staff, and then ultimately it's up to the players to be professionals and go attack it and go put their mark on it. So I talk a lot of times about with our guys, we're not painting by numbers. We don't. It's not like the ones get red and yellow goes in the ones with 2 and number 3, those get purple, whatever. No, we're not painting, and then we can't go outside the lines. I think to me it's a free flowing thing. Our guys are beginning to understand what we're looking for in terms of anchor points and knockback and some of the things that we look for in an attacking 4-3 front.
It sounds like this is not a major concern.
Not at all. No, it's not a major concern at all. No, it's part of the natural growth, and it's part of what we do. We just, that's just part of the transition from 3-4 to 4-3 was talked about. That's why I'm talking about it. Otherwise, I don't spend much time talking about it. We do what we do. This is how we do it, and this is what we do, and this is what we expect. And get it done. You're professional. If you get it done and do it a lot and do it well, we'll get you on the field. If you don't, you're not going to play as much. So it's pretty simple.
Thank you.
You bet.
Hey, Jack, John Kahn, ESPN. When you have the young guys like Troy and Jimmy in the defensive secondary, obviously we can see big plays, whether good or bad. What are some of the little signs for you of progress that you have seen in the first couple of weeks, and what are the things that that jump out to you?
Yeah, as a group, we've done some really good things. I think, there's some obvious issues where we want to, clean things up, and we're working to do that. And sometimes people that look at the tape have a opinion, and it may not be exactly what it is being taught and what we're looking for from a scheme standpoint, from a staff standpoint. So. But we're looking to have clarity. Our guys understand the issues that we've had and how we have the answers to and how we're going to play those things. And we look to improve as we go through the year. That's just teaching and coaching and moving forward. And that's kind of how we address it. So I think I like our group. I like our guys. I like our defense. I like the people in the room. I think coaches and players, I think we've got a good group, and it'll start with me. I'll do some things better and help our guys, and then everybody will do their part. So that's the way I approach it.
And also, I'm curious for you, calling a game on the road right now for a defense when there's no crowd, does that give you an advantage at all? And what's that like compared to other years?
I wouldn't say it gives you any kind of advantage. I think to me, the whole league is working through this without fans, kind of this setting. I don't know that anybody is gaining an advantage. I think, to me, you go out and you play, you compete. The difference is we don't have the terrific fan interaction. That's the part I said last week. That's the part I miss a great deal. So hopefully at some point here, we'll be able to get our fans back in the stadiums and have that interaction that I think is so special.
Thank you.
Hey Jack, Rhiannon Walker with The Athletic. I was
there.
curious, I was asking Ron the other day, basically, how do you what do you do when you have a team like the Browns, where you have the, Baker Mayfield, you have the 2 running backs, you have 2 tight ends, the receivers. He basically said that somebody's going to end up beating you. Like, you have to make a decision on which person you want to let go. As the defensive coordinator, how do you determine, when there's so many options available, which person is going to get theirs, but the other people, you're basically saying, like, they won't get anything, but this group, like, we can live with that?
Yeah, I don't know that that we can quite eliminate people like that. I wish it were that easy, but I do think that they've got a good group. They've got talent throughout the roster. They're running the ball at a really high level. They've got extremely talented receivers and a gifted quarterback. So this is a big challenge. So we're looking forward to it. We're looking to put together a plan and go compete. We recognize their abilities, and we also recognize our own. And so we're looking forward to matching up and going out there and looking for win number 2.
Just a quick follow-up. You've said a couple times in this conversation that there are things that you feel like you could do better. And this is something Ron mentioned as well, that the coaches may have to look at themselves and say, are we asking the guys to do too much? When you say that, what exactly do you mean, or what do you think you could do better as defensive coordinator?
Yeah, I prefer to keep our business, pretty much in-house, but I recognize areas and I discuss those with the team. These are things that I'll do better for us going forward, and that's how I want the entire group to look at it. So I think by establishing that I'm gonna take ownership and showing examples of some things that I can do better. I think they understand that we are all in it together. It's not lip service. I'm not sitting back. And our staff, we're not sitting back saying, you got to do this. No, we're saying we need to do these things. And I'm leading the way, saying I can do these things better right here. And so we all kind of chip in and do our part and be accountable to each other. And then we have a chance to really grow, learn, and go past it.
Thank you, Jack.
You bet.
Last one, Nikki Jambala.
Jack, Ron he's mentioned, a number of players and coaches who have kind of shaped his view on the game and the way he teaches it, but also the way he sees it. Are there certain players that you've worked with, or even certain coaches that have kind of done that for you?
Of course. Yeah. Over a long career, a lot of different people impact you in different ways. So I think on both levels, players and coaches have impacted the way I look at things, the way I coach, the person I am. I mean, so we spend a lot of time with each other, so you definitely are impacted in various ways. And so, yeah, I mean, that would be a long sit down kind of discussion, because it's pretty deep. There's a lot to it, but there's no question that players and coaches impact who you are.